Hello, everyone. This is Charles Harper. You're about to hear how to turn your PLR into an info marketing business. This is a Saturday workshop that I did for PLR users. So feel free to take notes. And if you don't have it already, make sure that you go to our website, our homepage, theplrshow.com. Make sure you get access to our free PLR Academy, as well as getting access to our mailing list. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I hope that you enjoy this broadcast. Good evening and welcome to the call for tonight. And let's see, we just want to add in a title here in Facebook. And I think we're then live. So we'll just go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we want to talk about here tonight is turning your PLR videos into your entire info marketing business. It might sound like a curious title, but I think that by the end you'll see that we'll deliver on that here tonight. Want to encourage you to stick to the end. I do want to tell you a little bit about Extreme 2.0, which is coming up. And if you were in Extreme 1.0, this is going to be an even bigger and better Extreme 2.0. So we'll talk a little bit about that, time permitting. So my goal is always to get you out of here in 30 minutes. So let's talk about how to turn your PLR videos into an info marketing business in 2021 and beyond. Tonight's session, I'm going to talk about what PLR is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time about that because I'm going to be doing that at great length and in great detail in Extreme 2.0. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what PLR videos are if you don't know what they are. And it's okay if you don't, because really, you don't really have to necessarily fully know and understand the way veterans understand it. I'm going to explain to you enough so that you'll be able to get the benefit from them. We'll talk about making sales with PLR videos. We'll talk about the alternative to the course sales model. That's most of info marketing. And we'll also talk about the answer, right? And we'll get to what that means here in a minute. We'll talk about then the transition to turning your PLR into an info marketing business, talking about the PLR, then the business, and then we'll talk about the necessary mindset for you. All right. So once again, just kind of stick to the end. Time permitting, I'll talk about Extreme 2.0. If not, then we'll talk about it at another time. But you can make sure that you'll get notification about it by signing up there at the PLR show. You can get our free PLR Academy. Once you get access to it, you'll then be part of our daily newsletter. So what is P, what is L, and then what is R? What is PLR? PLR actually stands for private label rights. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Basically, you get content to use in your business, and you don't really have to do any attribution. And so if you're familiar with PLR, you already know that basically every creator that does it, they have different rights to it. They sort of kind of tell you what you can and can't do. I could focus in on what resale rights are and PLR rights, but basically what you've got to do is every time you purchase something, you've got to kind of look at the certificate to see what the creator says you can do and what you can't do. All right. So, and if you have any questions about it, just always check with the person that you're buying it from. See what their rights are. And even if their rights don't spell it out, they don't necessarily aren't fully clear about it, then go ahead and ask them, what exactly they mean. So let's talk about PLR videos in particular. PLR videos come in various markets and niches, right? You can find videos you can use in your business in dog training. You can find it in, tech business. You can find it in just about every market and niche there is, where you can buy videos where you can use in order to educate people. So basically, if you were to go to the search engine and you were to type in rebrandable videos, you'd find that you can purchase videos that you can use in your business that will inform people about things that are peculiar to your market or niche. If you go in and you use the search engine term PLR and then you use your market or your niche, you will be able to find videos where you will be able to take those videos, purchase them, and use them in your own business as if it were your own content. You can use the term resale rights. And if you do that, you'll be able to find certain videos that you can use. You can use the term private label rights. Again, the terminology will vary based on what the creator calls it. So don't focus so much don't focus so much on what it's called and what you see it called on a sales page or in the search engines, because every creator is different in terms of how they decide to define it. Always add in your search term. So if you have a particular market or niche, let's say, your market is for real estate agents, and you want to know what PLR videos are available for real estate agents, or your market where you serve real estate agents, you want to put in your search term so that you'll be able to have a more efficient way of finding what it is you're looking for. Now, private label rights videos is typically content that you can use in or as your own course. So in other words, you can buy a private label rights video and you can sell it as if it were your course. Now, obviously, someone else will be teaching it. Obviously, someone else's voice will be there, but you can use it as your own course in order to sell. That's what private label rights are. Each creator has specific rights. So, basically, when the creator has those rights, you can again you can typically find that person will dictate what it is that you can't do with those particular videos. In some cases, you can kind of use them as opt-in bribes, right? Again, depends on what the creator says. In some cases, you can use it as education for your website visitors. You can use it as additional videos in a course. So let's say that you've already taught a course on real estate, telling real estate agents how to market better. Right, you can add in some PLR videos and maybe explain some things a little better that you don't. Now, in particular, what we do at PLR Show is we specialize in on-screen tutorial instructional business videos. So if you were trying to instruct someone, let's say on how to use, one course on Etsy, right? We have videos where you can actually purchase those videos and you can teach your customers how to use Etsy. Right? So you can use those videos in a course that you have on Etsy. You can use those videos on a course as your course on Etsy. All right. So basically, there are videos that you can purchase and you can use to teach your market in just about every kind of market there is. Right. So it doesn't have to be business. It can be just about any kind of market. All right. So how do you make sales with these kinds of videos? Basically, you might be saying, now, these are not my voice. So how am I going to make sales? And there are lots of ways in order to do that, regardless of hearing that you can just use them right out of the box, right? And sometimes people that create these videos, and we have said these, and we will say these things, you can use them right out of the box, regardless of whether or not you hear someone say you can just slap your name on it and just sell them as is, regardless of hearing that you can use them as your own product. There's always going to be a higher and more profitable route to using them. Right. And if you understand the value of having someone create videos for you, you'll understand, that there's always going to be a more profitable long-term route for you to be able to use them. I mean, certainly you can always get them and use them right out of the box. You can use the sales page that comes to them and you can sell them to the people that are already paying attention to you. That's certainly one way to do it. However, that's probably the lowest use of them. If you look at every sales interaction that you're going to have, whether or not somebody comes to your site, they decide to buy from you, or whether or not they decide not to buy from you, if you look at every interaction as a way to increase your connection with that buyer, videos will always give you leverage. And we're going to talk about that leverage here. So understand something. Anytime you have videos that clearly communicate a concept, you can raise and leverage your connection with a buyer through that video. Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter whether or not they come to your site and they actually make a purchase. Doesn't matter if they come to your site and they watch a sample video you have. Every time you have an interaction and you use video in order to communicate something, you are going to deepen your connection with that buyer. If that buyer will stay, if that prospect will stay, if that person, the website visitor, will stay and watch a video, and you can get them to watch a video, you will deepen your connection with them because they spent that time with you or on your site or in possession or a video that you have control over. Even if you make sales of a video course, right? You should always have this in mind. You should be looking to deepen your connection with the buyer. So let's say that you have a PLR video course, and let's say it's on dog training, and no, you didn't make any changes, and you use the sales page that came with that PLR video course, you still want to structure that transaction. You want to structure everything in that course and how it's delivered in a way to deepen your connection, because video has that potential if you understand how to do it. Now, what's an alternative to just selling courses? Right? Certainly you can sell courses. Certainly that's something and a way for you to be able to do it. Now you might have come and you might say, well, you know what? I want to understand how to rebrand and how to change videos. I'm not going to focus on that, mainly because there is again, a way for you to deepen your connection and do it at a more profitable level. Now, typically, people have a way of selling video courses, launch model. So in other words, you do a launch. And basically with every product you launch, you build up your email and your social media contact list with every sale. In other words, somebody buys from you, you add that person to your mailing list, right? That's one way of selling a video course. With a launch model, you're engaging the people that are both prospects and buyers. So basically what you're going to do is the people that are going to be part of your world or your list, you're going to be engaging them. And then you're going to tease them that a course is coming, and eventually you're going to launch the product to them. Right? That's one way of selling videos that you have as part of a course. Some people are going to purchase that product, and some people are going to also purchase that product and then purchase related products that you have. Right? So a launch model can be very profitable, and it's a great way of being able to monetize the videos that you have if you have purchased PLR videos in any way. The funnel model. So in other words, this is going to be in addition to the launch model. So you can also make sure that what you're trying to do is to increase the amount they're spending at every transaction. So basically what you're going to have is you're going to have an upsell, so that every time someone purchases some from you, they're going to be able to purchase related offers at the point of sale. Right? So that is the typical sales model for your video course. Now, when you do that, every time you do that, it's always going to depend on you being able to get new buyers added to your list. Right? So you can get those buyers from affiliates trading traffic with you. You can get those buyers from people who will come to you through the search engines. You can get them from social media. You can get them from content you're doing on a regular basis. Let's say you've got a podcast and you've got a YouTube channel, right? You can drive buyers to your site. You can get them from partners that you have, and you get them from paid advertising, right? That's where you can find the buyers for your PLR videos. Now the question is, how are you going to deepen the ties, as I said? Right? Once they make the purchase, how are you going to deepen your relationship so that it becomes a profitable tie and you are really developing a business? In other words, how are you going to deepen your ties so that you get a repeat buyer? Right? That is the question. The answer is always going to be to build a video learning center. Right? That's going to be the way that you are going to do it. What's a video learning center? Basically, if you want to think about it, it's like having Netflix for your particular market or niche. So basically, I want you to think about Netflix or your favorite way of going to buy streaming video. And all you're going to do is you're going to build that for your particular market or your particular niche. It works extremely well with video PLR because you're going to be able to add lots of titles, and you're going to be able to, in some cases, you'll even have more videos than a Netflix. You may even have more videos than Disney Plus, right? If you can even conceive of that. Well, there are that many videos, and typically you're going to be able to find that many videos in your niche, right? It works extremely well when you're willing to purchase, and if you already have video PLR. It allows you to add to your video learning center high quality content very quickly. So in other words, you purchase a PLR video course and you can instantly have over 40 videos to add to your video learning center for someone to learn from at an instant. So it is a very easy way of being able to add value to someone who is coming to your Netflix for your particular market or niche. It allows you to focus on marketing your learning center, right? For those of you who are PLR video veterans, you may have focused on rebranding the course and trying to do the course over in your voice and trying to redo the graphics of the videos. And you might have felt like, okay, I have done all this and I've got to redo all of this again for another course. It's exhausting, right? Very difficult to do. The goal, though, is no longer, though, if you choose to build a video learning center, you're no longer trying to just make sales. What you're trying to do is you're trying to deepen your connection with a buyer so that you get a repeat buyer. What you're trying to do by building the video learning center for a particular market or niche is to build videos around solving problems for that particular market or niche. And it doesn't matter what the niche is. You should be purchasing the kind of videos that solve the problem, not focusing on redoing the videos in your voice. Focus on getting the videos that solve the problems of your market or niche. Remember, what are you branding around when you build a video learning center? You are branding around solving the problems of your particular market or niche. And so what is the pitch you're going to be making to your buyer, right? So I'm not getting into copy here. So again, the point of this is not to get into the copywriting, but you do need to understand what your value proposition is. What are you trying to get the buyer to understand? You are trying to get them to understand that for you to solve their problem through your video learning center, they're going to have to commit so that you can commit to them. In other words, you will continue to commit to adding the kind of content to your Netflix to solve their problem that they will commit to you. Right? That's the basic pitch. Now, you're not going to say it that way. You're not going to state it that way, but that's basically what you're saying. You're saying to you, hey, you know what? You commit to me monthly. I'll commit to making sure that I solve your problems and put them right in here inside of my Netflix for you on demand, right? That's what I'm doing. And that's basically what your value proposition is to your customer. Here's what the ask is. You are asking them to sign with you monthly. So in other words, you're trying to figure out, so how am I going to turn PLR videos into a business? The minute you start to focus on your monthly subscriber, you will be a different business person. You will become a different marketer. You will become a different info marketer. Because, and we did teach this in e-learning playbook, right? We taught this. We taught this whole business model on how to do this. If you haven't seen that, you can get that at plrshow.com/ELP. It's a business model. You should also, now, if you're a business person, you should be teaching the same thing to your business customers. So we made that course PLR. You can get that with the PLR rights. You can teach that to your customers. Because again, if you're marketing with information, you should be focusing on not just making sales. You should be focusing on solving problems. But you can't solve problems if all you're going to do is you're just going to sell a product. Right? You've got to solve their problems by getting a commitment from them so you can commit to them. Right now, so how does this video PLR turn into a business? You are purchasing the video PLR and adding it to your learning center on a regular basis, right? So your job is to go out and find the videos that will solve the problems of your market or niche, right? That's your job. That becomes your job. Your job is not to rebrand those videos in your voice. Your job is to add videos that solve problems. It's no different than Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, or Prime, right? So if you think about those entities, right now, they're not solving problems, but if your problem, the problem they're solving is boredom, right? The problem that they're solving is, you like to be entertained, and they're going to find the best possible entertainment to make sure that you are going to be entertained and not bored. I mean, if you want to look at boredom as a problem, right? But you're no different from them, except you're going to be solving a specific problem that's niche specific. You should be adding continually to your video learning center all of the time. If you think about it, every time you go back to Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, and Prime, they've always got something new. There's always a reason why you ought to buy it. Some people obviously are just going to buy those just for that month. But what ends up happening is you end up purchasing a subscription, right? And you end up purchasing a subscription and you stay because there's always something new. There's always something that's going to be interesting to you and a way for you to cure your boredom. So for you to do this right, though, you've got to keep your content relevant. Well, if you can keep it relevant to your niche or your sub niche, you are going to have people where you're going to be solving their problems on a regular basis. You should be adding, though, original content other people don't have. Because I know you're thinking, well, if everybody has the same content, how's my video learning center going to be different? Well, that's the question I'm going to put back to you. Right now, you should not be asking me that question. I should be asking you that question. How can you keep people subscribed? Well, you're going to add original content. Add in interviews that are particular to your sub niche. Add in workshops where you teach them. Right? You don't have to be the expert on everything, but the particulars of your sub niche you ought to be the expert on, and you should be teaching those particular workshops. What you're doing is you are adding subscribers to your version of Netflix for your niche by solving the problems of one population in one niche, right? That's what you are doing by building in a learning center. This is going to work in any niche where you can purchase PLR videos, because you are always going to have videos that you can add. You should have a ton of videos inside of your video learning center, right? And you should always be, there should always be something fresh. There should always be something new. There should always be something where you are teaching something new that people cannot get elsewhere. And it's possible to do this without video PLR. Lots of people do it. It's difficult, right? I know, again, I'm going to mention him later. Dan Kennedy has one, but Dan Kennedy has the equivalent of having taught over 4 decades, right? So he doesn't need to buy video PLR, but even still, though, he's got the content of other people in his learning center. Right now, we talked about the video PLR. Let's talk about the business, right? The business is turning your signature expensive offer into a monthly program. So basically, what are you going to add on top of the PLR? I want you to take your best offer, your highest and best information. I want you to break it up into 12 pieces, and I want you to add a piece of that, 1/12 of it in January, and 1/12 of it in February, and 1/12 of it in March, and 1/12 of it in April, and put that right on top of your PLR, right? That's what's going to make your video learning center unique. You're going to take your most expensive offer and put it right on top, right? That's how you build your monthly program. And then, look, you can even level it up, right? You can level it up by adding in different levels of service. So in other words, let's say that, it would be too much to put in your most expensive product, but you could cut it down and say add a gold level, a bronze level, and a silver level, right? You can level it up by adding different levels of service. You can add different levels of personal interaction. So in other words, somebody can get 5 hours from you. Somebody can get one-on-one coaching with you. Somebody can get, a weekend with you, right? Do it. I mean, be original, right? Level it up. Some people can get an offline retreat with you. Once again, be original, be creative. Again, level it up. Don't just add the PLR videos. All that does is that brings you up to standard. This is the part where you turn it into a business. You should be looking to develop closer contact and deeper relationships, right? The PLR is the bridge, right? So you can't get in the door until you build the Netflix, right? So you got to have some stuff in there, but then you build the deeper relationships with all the other stuff that you have, right? Pricing is going to vary, but here's what I'll tell you. You can look to Dan Kennedy, like I said. And it's I think you can get, I'm not sure what his is called, but you can get it. I think it's about $30 a month. Right? You can look to Russell Brunson. He's got something called FunnelFlix, right? I'm not sure what his costs, but again, you can look to that. Grant Cardone's got one, right? And I'm not sure how he's got his price, but you can price yours accordingly. Now, here's one thing I want you to think about. And even before I get to the mindset section, I do want to talk about just the whole idea. I want you to think about this and think about being an academy and not a school. What do I mean by that? You're going to see a lot of people talking about being a skills-oriented or, get all these different skills. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to be, well, we've got all these skills. You can pick the skill that you want. That's not the idea here, right? So it's not like, well, we've got basket weaving, we've got cooking, we've got all this other stuff. You are niche focused and niche specific. You are solving problems of your niche. Focus on the benefit of the value. Don't be Udemy here, right? It's not your job to be Udemy and to be all over the place. Focus on the value to your particular buyer in your particular sub niche. Once again, think about this in terms of Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount, and Prime Video, right? Think about how they're solving the issue of boredom in a particular market or niche. And here's something I just thought of right before I got on here, and I wrote this in here. It's not necessarily related to this, but it's important. Prime Video actually allows user-generated content, right? I think which is pretty cool, right? Because again, that's another thing that separates them from some of the other entities. Now, again, I don't know if a lot of people upload their own video, movies or courses to Prime Video, but it's available to them. Here's the mindset, right? Here's the way you have to be thinking, right? You have to position yourself as the educator. That's what you're doing in your marketing niche. You are positioning yourself as the educator. And I said not just the educator, but an educator. What do I mean by that? You are positioning yourself as an educator in the niche or your sub niche, as an educator, right? Not an expert, an educator. Here's your attitude. Here's the mindset you have to have. I may not know all the answers. I have a lot of them, but any answer you need, I can get it. Right? I can get it. I can go and get a PLR video course in just about anything. I can get all the answers. Whatever answer you need, I can go get it. Right? If I can't get it through PLR video, I can do an interview. If I can't get it that way, I can do a workshop. If I can't get it that way, I can bring in an expert. I can get all the answers you need. I can get them all in this learning center. I can get all the answers. That's your mindset. Position yourself as an educator. Right now, why not as the expert? Why not as the educator? Look, there's always going to be room for you in the sub niche. You don't have to be the expert. All you have to do is you've got to have a passion for your sub niche. But if your sub niche is RV users, right? You need to have a passion for RV users. If your passion is for stay-at-home moms, you ought to have a passion. There's got to be a gazillion people marketing to stay-at-home moms. It doesn't matter. There's room for you, right? You need to have a passion for your sub niche. Now, obviously, you need to break it down to a particular sub niche. But if you have a passion for that sub niche, there's room for you. You need to have a unique take on the market. So don't just be, a copycat. Have a unique take. Take a stand, plant your flag someplace, have a particular view on things. And you don't have to fake this, right? If you've got your particular view on things, you will turn PLR video into something different, right? Something entirely different than it was ever even imagined. Even when the creator sold it to you, they probably couldn't conceive what you could do with it if you have your own take on things. Develop an approach to using the information that you have, right? Now, if you're not from the United States, these terms might not be fully relevant, but I want to give them to you because I want you to kind of understand what I mean by this. And I know I just said not to be an academy, not to be a school, right? You want to be an academy of your niche. Now, I want you to think about this within the context, right? Now, I'm going to list some schools, right? You can be in the United States. If you're going to send your kid to college, they can go to a state school. Right? Your kid can go to a vocational school. Your kid can go to an Ivy League school, or your kid can go to community college, right? They can go to any of those choices. There are probably some others in between. Here's the point to this. There's room for you in every market and every sub niche, right? And you've just got to position yourself when you start talking, right? When you clarify your message, right? Donald Miller says this in, I think, Building a Story Brand. And I think it's true. Clarify your message so that your customers can listen. Again, let me say that again. Clarify your message so that your customers will listen. Your customers can't hear you if you don't clarify your message. They can hear you if your message is clear. If your message is clear, you've got a unique take, your customers will hear you, your customers. Now, my customers might not hear you. Your customers will. And that's all that matters. Not every customer in the world's not going to hear you when you clarify your message. But when you clarify your message, when you clarify your unique take, your customers, your people, your tribe, they will hear you, right? Clarify your message so that your customers will hear you. You can be a state school in the niche. You can be a vocational school in the niche. You can be an Ivy League school in the niche. You can be a community college in the niche. Doesn't matter which one it is. Everyone can be successful. There's room for you. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be the educator. You can be one, right? An educator in the niche. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? We're about at 7:28, so I was successful. Any questions? Well, I think I can see them in, if you have questions. Any questions? Okay, so you can pick up our PLR newsletter at plrshow.com. Make sure that you go ahead and get our free PLR Academy. You'll then become part of our daily newsletter where we talk about PLR every single day. Now, I talked about e-learning playbook where I explained this. If you don't have that course, you should have it because that's where I laid out this entire business model for a video learning center, and you really should be building one. Right? If you're doing any kind of information marketing, you need to be building your own Netflix. And I explained it all in the e-learning playbook. You can pick that up at the PLR show. Oh, I spelled it wrong, didn't I? The plrshow.com/ELP, right? Pick it up there. Now, if you really want to get into this, then I suggest you join us at the Ultimate Insiders, right? This is where we talk about this, and that this is where my focus is in helping you do this, right? plrshow.com/insider training. And then once again, I wanted to tell you about, and unfortunately it's 7:30, Extreme 2.0 is coming. And I'm going to be walking step by step through the info marketing business. I will take you from zero all the way up to building your video learning center. And I'm going to start from the very beginning, right? I'm going to assume you know nothing. And I'm going to walk you all the way through this. You're going to get some fantastic extras if you join us. You just make sure that you are signed up at the plrshow.com. Okay, so if that's about it. It's about 7:30. Appreciate you all being out here. And if you came to hang out with me here, have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.